What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 34. Oh my gosh, Jack, go home, you're drunk. I have had another bottle of red wine. This is becoming a terrible habit. I'm just sat here with bottles of red wine just on my desk. I need to stop. I need help. No, Jack, alcoholism isn't funny. Shut up. Okay, anyway, we are playing Football Manager. I need to remember this. So yeah. Still with Chivas. If you missed the previous episode, highly recommend you go and watch it, as it's kind of an introduction to the club. Since the previous video, I have learned a thing or two about Chivas. I am going to be just covering them briefly at the start of this video. So first things first, I have learnt the structure of the league system, I think. So the Copa Libertadores, which is the continental tournament we are in, is the South American Champions League equivalent. There's also the North American Champions League. Now, I'm still not sure how because Mexico have teams that qualify for the North American and the South American League. I'm not sure how they decide who goes into which kind of continental tournament. So again, I haven't uploaded the previous episode, but if you happen to understand the system more than I do, please leave it in the comments, because it will actually help me out. And the other things just to note are Chivas can only have Mexican national players in their team, or players with a nationality of Mexican, even if that is their second nationality. And the third thing which I want to draw your attention to, which I should have actually known, because I remember a subscriber a long time ago mentioning it on a video, who actually said, you know, oh, you should go to Chivas, is the money problems here. Now, I knew the club was making a loss anyway, and I discovered the main cause of that loss having looked at the finances in detail, and it comes down to this loan here. Now, in case you can't read it because you've not got the video in HD or 480p full screen, essentially the club has a £125 million loan taken out, which is being paid at a rate of £1.5 million a month until the end of 2019. Now, fortunately, we are at the end of, well, we are in 2019, so there's only about 6 months left of these payments, and once those go out, the club's finances will be a lot more stable for the long term of the club, and we should be able to make a little bit more money and not have to sell all our players. So looking at our finances, we're currently on minus £600,000. So that's not great, but it could be worse. We were on significantly more. However, we actually had a board takeover during the kind of, I guess, second half of this season that I've skipped over. I decided not to include the takeover simply because it wasn't one of these Brazilian Gillian, that isn't even a number, Jack. It wasn't one of these kind of millionaires who have all the money and just throw it at you. It was literally one of these takeovers where it's like, the new chairman's here, we won't be putting any money into the club as it stands, however, we're going to take out a loan to pay off the money that you're in debt for. So that's what this £10 million loan is here. You may remember we were on, I think, like minus £9 million after the previous episode, so that was taken out, that loan, to clear most of that. But obviously with this stupid loan, with the stupid pay rates, which I swear are from something like Wonga.com, the rate that's been paid back at a year, it means that well, we are going to be losing money for the next 6-7 months. But anyway, that's enough about Chivas. Let's crack on with the fixtures. So, although not much time has passed, in that time we've played a significant amount of fixtures. I'm not going to cover all of them because there's quite a lot to get through, but highlighted on screen are the fixtures we played. You'll know that if you watch the first half of, well, watch the previous thing, that the team was really struggling in the league, and after 7 games they only had 2 wins. So 6 points from 7 games obviously isn't very good. The system that the Mexican League works in, I did explain this last video tragically and terribly. However, just a quick recap. Basically, there is 2 seasons per calendar year, an opening season and a closing season. They're both completely separate, except from when it comes to the relegating a team, which stood on average points, which I'm not even going to dare touch. But basically, you play every team once in a season, then the top 8 teams go into a playoff, which is seeded, so we will be the number 3 seed in 3rd place. But looking at the past positions, just so you can see the climb that the team's made, I came in at game week 7 where we were 11th place, and we're actually slightly 11th is a bit of a false indication because we'd played more games than everyone else, and so we were higher than teams with less points. Sorry, less games played. So although 11th looked okay and kind of maybe savable, realistically we were nearer the 14th or 13th place at best. However, I'm pleased to say since I've been at the club in the division, we've won 8 out of the 10 league games that we had during this second season of the calendar year, which is the closing season. I guess looking at how we started, we had the first fixture I was in charge of was the Copa Libertadores Group C game against Barcelona from Ecuador. I'm going to cover the Copa Libertadores games in a second. Looking at the league, however, a few games which I will cover. First league game in charge was against Atlanta. Really good performance by the team. We didn't score until late on in the second half, however. As you can see, they had 1 shot on target. I mean, this kind of Chivas kind of setup is very much followed, not dissimilarly, I can't even get that word out, not too differently from the Cameroon save, in the sense that I've used the fact that the club has a very strong defence to my advantage to give ourselves some good defensive support and be able to have kind of the best form of offense is our good defense. You know, the fact our defense is good has meant attackingly we are good. We're playing with a 5-3-2, which has served us very well. The wing backs at this club are very, very talented and have done a fantastic job. Anyway, that was Zunga with the goal there, the young 20-year-old target man. Really good finish for him to make it 2-0. That was a good convincing win and a kind of a good introduction, I guess, to the league. The second game that I was in charge for in the league was against Pachua. Won't be covering this game in too much detail, however, Acuna with the goal in the 78th minute. We probably got lucky this game, but in the end we took our chance that came to us and it resulted in us getting the 3 points on the day. I'd also like to point out Isaac Acuna, who is a very good player, has since left the club to go to Chivas USA. We sold him for £3 million. It doesn't even say here because the history bug that we have, which absolutely does my head in, and it isn't fixed in the latest update. But no, we sold him for a decent amount of money. I think we sold him for £3 million in the end. Just load up transfer history. Yeah, we got £3 million for him, which was a very good kind of, I guess, money. It was a good way to get some money in. So he was a good sale for us. Aging player, got quite a nice chunk off the wage budget, and because it was the American off-season and the transfer window was open, he was able to go out even though the season kind of transfer window was closed for us, and that's helped me kind of balance the wage books to an extent. Anyway, following on from the Pachua game, we came up against Leon, and this marked our 4th clean sheet in a row, and in fact in our first 6 games we conceded 1 goal, and that came in the 88th minute. But this was a game for us, actually. This was a Copa Libertadores game, which I didn't mean to click on. I will come back to you very shortly. Copa Libertadores game. Can we go back? There we go. There we go. Yeah, this was a game against Leon. We were 3-0 winners very comfortably in the end. I'll show the highlights of this game. As you can see, looking at the stats, we dominated. They had a few shots, but only 2 were on target. We haven't necessarily controlled possession in the games that we've kind of done well in this season. However, what we have done is taken our chances when they've fallen to us, and the very direct attacking play, which isn't exactly sexy football, but it's kind of hoof the ball up, get it to the top men, and get men behind the ball when we're not in possession. And you'll see it here, the counter attack coming in. Our 5 at the back doing very well, and this was a very well moved kind of counter attack here, starting right from the back. They press high up on the line for us. A lot of teams in Mexico like to press really high up the field in order to exert pressure, and what we've been doing is we've been passing it around, and then we'll bait up their midfield and create a void between their midfield and defence, and that allows us to thread in big balls thumped up the field to our target men. Again, you'll see Zuniga, the big target man, getting the ball in the air. Ball is worked around well. Zuniga able to get a nice tidy finish, and that made it 3-0. So that gives you an idea of kind of our play style. Very much counter-attack when we don't have the ball, but play very attackingly nevertheless. So following on from that really good start, we then went on and beat Jaguares, who are a struggling team at best. They scored in the 89th minute, broke our clean sheet record of 5 games in 88 minutes. Would have been nice if we could have held on for the clean sheet there, but ultimately 3 points on the board. Again, we can't complain. Very good result. We then came up against Pumas, who beat us 1-0 away from home. Tough result to take in the end, because we probably deserved to win on sheer chances created. However, credit to Pumas, they did have more of the ball than us, and they did create more chances. And a 1-0 loss, although it was hard to take, probably was about right. Anyway, we then bounced back immediately in the league, beating UDEG 3-0. Really good performance. Jesus Sanchez has really stepped into the boots of Akua since he went to Chivas USA. Sanchez, when I came to the club, was really low on confidence, really kind of struggling to get goals, and the press were on his back. Kind of took him under my wing and encouraged him, and he's really kind of paid off, and sticking with him has worked. He's been fantastic. His pace is a fantastic strength that he has. I don't think he's actually the fastest player on paper. However, his sheer ability to outrun the opposition and latch onto the long balls that are pumped up the field to him is kind of really what sets him apart from other players in the league. And he just seems to be able to find that space in the box when it's needed. But this was a really convincing game. We took the lead really early on, and then we got a goal midway through the second half, and then in the 88th minute we were able to cap it off with another goal. I think this was Sanchez again, and he was really heavily involved. You'll see in the build-up play for this, running forward with the ball, finding that space that he just seems to be able to find that extra yard on players. Really good off-the-ball movement a lot of the time. I'm really not sure his stats reflect that. However, you can just see him, he's always lively, and I think this was just a nice cheeky kind of pass and then get a movement, peel off his man, and a really good goal for him. So that was a good 3-0 win against UDEG. Following on from this, we got our only other loss of the kind of first division close, with the exception of the Pumas game, which came against Cruz Azul, who are top of our league quite comfortably. They've been very much in form. They've won their last 5 games. Strong team. Wasn't an easy result to take by any means, but they deserve to win, and credit to them. They were just a better team than us on the day. Anyway, following on from this, we had 3 first division games left to play. We won all of them. We beat Monterrey 2-1 at home, and then in our last 2 games we beat Estudiantes Tecos, who have been relegated from our division. We beat them 2-0, and then we beat Morella on the last game of the season. Sanchez grabbing a brace yet again. I'm not going to show the highlights of this game. And then the final league game was against Morella, which was another good performance by the team. And perhaps we didn't deserve to win this, but again, taking our chances when it mattered, which was good. So that fine run of form since I've come to the club has seen us nestled in 3rd place. Not a single draw this season, which is pretty odd, and winning 8 of our last 10 league games saw us launch ourselves right up the table. Unbelievably close, to be honest, between 2nd and, I guess, 2nd and 10th place, only 7 points separating those teams. So very close up at the top, and the holders, San Luis, who won the opening kind of season this calendar kind of year, not even making it into the quarter-final stage. So that's quite an interesting one. I'll move on to the Copa Libertadores now. When the Copa Libertadores, I made a kind of quote, I guess, in the previous video. I said that was the equivalent of the UEFA Cup. It wasn't the main Champions League. Upon further, I guess, inspection, I have discovered it is indeed the Champions League equivalent in South America. I don't know. I've not really been an avid follower of the South American Football League. I've never managed in Brazil or Argentina at a high league. However, long fans of this series will remember the days of Justice FC, so I can't say I've never been to Argentina, but I've never had to deal with the continental competitions there. But anyway, looking at our performance, I guess you can see we finished 1st in our league, which ensures a slightly easier tie, or theoretically easier tie, in the quarterfinals. I'm not going to cover all the, I guess, fixtures for this game, but just a quick look. In our opening game, we beat Barcelona of Ecuador 3-0. Acuna getting 2 goals, Herrera with another. Herrera is our star player. The right wing back has been absolutely superb for us. In our second game, we beat Libertad, who are a very good team. However, Akua and Ponce getting on the score sheet. We really dominated this game. I mean, Libertad aren't a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but they didn't even get a shot away this game. And I mean, we really kind of just showed some absolute dominance. To not even let them have a shot is something else. We then had a game against Huracan, who are a very good team in, I believe, Argentina. This was an interesting game. We won it very comfortably in the end, and I called this game the Battle of the J's, because looking at everyone who got on the score sheet for us, they have a first name beginning in J. Javier Gomez, Jesus Sanchez and Jonathan Losada with the goals. Again, a very good performance. I will show the highlights for this game. Again, this game really epitomises Sanchez's run of form since I kind of brought him back into the first team with the departure of Arkua from the squad. So we went 2-0 up in this game and we conceded and we looked a little bit nervy. However, the players really performed well, and in the closing stages of the game we were able to get a third and fourth goal, which really kind of, I guess, made the game far more comfortable looking than it actually was. Anyway, as you can see, us really using the wing backs when we can, that free at the back, serving well, able to play the ball around the back, suck teams high up the line, and then I guess just find some openings and craft them out in the final third. Anyway, Gimenez with this goal, that was a really, really good long shot, which sent me into a small kind of little jig in my chair and my desk as that went in, because I really didn't expect him to score with that kind of long shot. We then grabbed a second goal of the game. I believe this was Sanchez with that turn of pace that I've talked about, able to find some space as the centre-backs have caught out of position, and he is just there. He just seems to be able to find that extra yard of space. But they did, as I said, bring a goal back to make it 2-1. That came from a set piece, which was kind of cheaply given away. However, we did put the game beyond doubt, and from the second goal, which we scored in the 77th minute, we really looked, I guess, in complete control of the game overall. Ball worked around well, finds it to the feet of Sanchez, who feeds in Laceda for the goal. That was his first goal of the season. A very good performance by him this game. Looking at our total shots, we had 8 shots on target in total, which is really good to see. And I guess what's also good to see is, although we play with this 5 at the back, which allows us to soak up pressure, there's quite a lot of goals that you'll see when we really do work the play up from the back, and it's just really good passing and moving stuff. So Ponce involved initially, the 3 at the back, able to just carry the ball forward. The ball is played around really nicely, and we always seem to have action, I guess, areas and space and action. I guess there's always a player on the move for each other. But anyway, that was Sanchez's second goal of the game, as I mentioned. That was a good 4-1 win for us against Huracan. We then unfortunately went to, well, we played them away and we lost 2-1. Sanchez did get on the score sheet for us, however, they got a really late goal, heartbreak for us in the end. They scored in the 89th minute to make it 2-1. We then beat, well no, actually we drew 0-0 with Libertad, which is of quite big contrast, I guess, to the whooping that we gave them in the previous game. They really did cling on this game for dear life, however, I guess a point's a point at the end of the day, and we can't complain. We do finish top of our group at the end of the day, so it's not a result that I'm going to, I guess, lose too much sleep over. And then in the final game of the season, or of the group stage, I suppose, we were able to beat Barcelona of Ecuador 2-0. Again, a goal by Laceda and Solario for us this game. So, as I said, top of the league, we do find ourselves in the second round of the tournament, which is now a knockout stage. Now, because this is the Champions League equivalent, and it's only the kind of second round, I'm probably going to live com the second round, second leg of the game, which will mean you won't see the first leg, but it also means that I'll have a chance to play the quarterfinals of the Mexican League, which will, I guess, see if we progress to the semi-finals for a chance to win the Mexican title. And I guess from there, we'll have to take things as they come. I don't know what fixtures I'm going to have and whatnot, so I can't plan too far ahead. So yeah, that's, I guess, our performance in the league and stuff. Just a quick look at the team performances. I'm trying to find the right custom, what you call it, the right custom attribute thing. Here we go. Okay, so looking at top performers, I guess Zanega's played really well for us, grabbing quite a lot of goals for us this year. The young target man, he has improved quite significantly with the opportunities he's had in first team football. He's played well for us. Average rating is 6.82. Nothing too crazy, but he's been there bashing in the goals. Sanchez was playing right wing before I came to the club. I've stuck him in as a forward and he's really paid dividends for us. Fantastic form in the league of late, and I think the fact that he has a continental rating of 7.62 really kind of indicates how bigger a threat he's been in this latter half of the season since I've come in. I guess in many respects I was lucky to come to the club when I did, because I guess our league position was still savable, and we hadn't played any games in the Copa Libertadores, which was really kind of a chance for me to get my stamp on the club. So yeah, guys, no live com today because this fixture, well, there's been loads of fixtures to cover and I haven't got time. Next episode will be the second leg of the second round of the Copa Libertadores. That is such a mouthful, that tournament name. I'm going to just call it the South American Champions League. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, give it a thumb up the butt. As a commentator once said, I can't even remember what commentator that is. Who knows? If someone knows what commentator says, give it a thumb up the butt. Now I'm just talking. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anywho, Jack, shut the hell up. What the hell are you on about? But no, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give the video a cheeky thumbs up. It's always appreciated. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.